What's up, everybody? It's your boy Brandon Blakeney, aka Brandon Lead TV. Welcome back to the Live with Brandon Blakeney podcast. Now kick back, relax, and come take a ride with your boy. We had an action-packed lineup of first-round NCAA tournament matchups on the women's side today. We saw South Carolina, the number 1 overall seed, almost win by 60 today against Presbyterian. Complete blowout, and they were down 2 starters. LSU struggled against Rice, a scrappy squad, and Coach Kim Mulkey said that this group is playing selfish basketball, and Angel Reese was held 1 of 7 from the field. Virginia Tech got the win, moving past Liz Kitley. They lost their All-American for the season. They still look good, though, I gotta admit. And then on the other side, we gotta talk about the upset. Middle Tennessee State ruining the reunion between LSU and Louisville. We will not be getting that contest. Middle Tennessee had something to say about it. Big upset over Louisville. And, man, it was just a great day of hoops. And we're going to keep y'all posted on everything that's going on with the latest and the greatest. But before we get into everything, make sure y'all hit that subscribe button for all the latest and the greatest. And join our memberships. We got that exclusive content coming daily, weekly, whenever you need it. Now, let's get into it.
You are now locked into the Live with Brandon Blakeney podcast. Here is your host, Brandon Blakeney.
In our first game recap, those North Carolina Tar Heels survived literally and advanced past Michigan State in the 8-9 matchup. And it was crazy because UNC jumped out to a hot start and took a double-digit lead into the second quarter. They took the lead in the halftime as well, but they completely collapsed late in the fourth quarter and almost blew this game, man. Missed free throws and turnovers nearly cost the Heels their season. Looking at the breakdown, the Heels shot 40.7% from the field compared to Michigan State's 37.3%. Michigan State's three-point shooting really stood out in this contest. They got hot in the fourth, going 7 of 18 on the game for 38.9% compared to a measly 30% from North Carolina. UNC also left 10 points at the free throw line, which nearly cost them this contest. They shot 44.4% from the field and missed some clutch ones down the stretch. On the other side, Michigan State went 11 of 14, shooting 78.6% from the field. Now, what saved Carolina in the last seconds of this game, they got 2 back-to-back offensive rebounds off of missed free throws to seal this game. They dominated the glass 45-27, 18 offensive rebounds, 27 defensive rebounds, 10 blocks in this contest as well. Now, we mentioned the turnovers for the Heels. Both teams had 16. And it was just a sloppy game. Michigan State really pulled it together, though, after a really sloppy, slow start. And I got to say, after this game, I am a fan of Maura Joyner. 13 points, 2 assists, 3 rebounds for Sparty. They had some other players that stepped up as well. Julia Arault stepped up, 14 points for her. Taryn Halleck had 14 points as well. It was a hard-fought effort, man. They really fought to the last whistle, so I got to salute them. They almost snuck this one away from the Heels. Big game for Maria Gagdang. In previous videos, I've said how she would have to be a crucial part of what UNC is doing if they want to make a run. They need a third horse beside Deja Kelly and Alyssa Utsby. They both balled. Kelly had 13 points, 2 assists, 2 rebounds. And Utsby, 16 points, 6 assists, and 17 rebounds. Dominant performance for her. I think they also got some really valuable minutes from Tiani Key. They're going to need more production from other players, though. Deja Kelly, Utsby, they're going to get theirs. Gagdang's got to keep up the pressure and keep getting blocks as well as defensive boards for this team, because they got a tall task, man. They are facing South Carolina in their next contest. And these two teams have already played before this season. In the first contest, South Carolina won 65-58. UNC played them extremely tough, though. And I honestly, man, I think it's going to be a dogfight. They're definitely not going in there losing by 60 to this team. In the first game, Kelly was very effective, had 20 points. Usby did her thing, had 18 and 12 as well. So these were two players that really got it going against South Carolina, who was at full strength at the time as well. You know, Camila Cardoso played, Chloe Kitts played, Ashlyn Watkins played, so, you know, it was a hard-fought game. UNC, it was a road, it was an interesting two-game stretch for South Carolina on the road because they went and played UNC and Duke back-to-back. Wasn't a great shooting night for South Carolina, but, so we're looking forward to that rematch, man. It was only a 7-point game the last time these two teams matched up. Speaking of South Carolina, they just displayed, I mean, it was one of the biggest margins of victory in their tournament history. 91-39 over Presbyterian. Down 2 starters, y'all. Looking at the breakdown, South Carolina shot 36 of 64 from the field, shooting 56.3% while holding Presbyterian to 28.3. They also held Presbyterian to 16.7% from 3 while knocking down 9 threes of their own. They went 10 of 15 from the free throw line. Did leave 5 free ones at the line. But rebounding, we expect them to continue to dominate as they have 44-27. Even down Camila Cardoso. The defensive rebounds limiting Presbyterian to 1 shot. Love the 18 assists. And more importantly, love that they only had 9 turnovers. This was one of the more efficient games for them. They forced 17 turnovers, blocked 7 shots, had 18 assists. Really got out in transition, turning turnovers into points, turning those steals, turning those blocks into transition buckets. We mentioned Bree Hall as well as Camila Cardoso did not play in this game. And Hall was a late scratch, so that was kind of surprising. But Sanaya Fagan filling in for Cardoso, 12 points, 10 assists, 12 points, 10 rebounds, 2 assists in 32 minutes for the big forward. Ashlyn Watkins, stat sheet stuffer, 7 points, 4 assists, 8 rebounds, had some blocks as well. Raven Johnson getting in double figures and scoring, 11 points, 4 assists, 4 rebounds for one of the best point guards in the country. Tahina Powell wasting no time getting active in this NCAA tournament, 18 points, 3 assists, 1 rebound for her. Chloe Kitts got the game ball. How about one of the best games of the season, if not the best game of the season for her? 21 points, 13 rebounds, extra aggressive, extra tough. And then Malaysia Fulwali was sensational. 17 points, 3 assists, 1 rebound off the bench. And, hey, man, she's just doing her thing. She's got that Red Bull deal. Hey, she's out here making moves on the NIL circuit. South Carolina now prepares their attention to North Carolina. This will be a much tougher test. And we mentioned the game was close the last time these two teams played. South Carolina edged out the Heels. Both of these teams are 2 completely different teams right now, though. They're in 2 completely different places. Seems like South Carolina is peaking at the right time right now. And UNC, man, it was ugly. They got the win, and that's all that matters. They made the shots they were supposed to make, but, man, they got to cut down on those turnovers, and they need the supporting cast to offer a little bit more support, because we saw Deja Kelly and Usby get theirs in the first game against the Gamecocks, and it still wasn't enough. They're going to need a big game from Gakdane like they got today. She only had 8 points in that first matchup. It's going to be fun. Camila Cardoso will be back in the lineup. I'm not sure the situation with Bree Hall, but I'm sure we will get more information on Breezy as the week continues as before that game. But it's going to be a good one. You know, 2 cross-state rivals. Always a fun matchup when it's that close in proximity. Going to be a lot of Carolina blue down there in South Carolina. And, man, I like the Heels. I'm not saying I like them to win the game. I don't see that happening. But I like the Heels as a good test for South Carolina. They're scrappy. They're going to fight hard. And this is a good matchup before they potentially could match up against like a Oregon State or Notre Dame type vibe, you know, previous. But it'll be interesting. It'll be a good matchup for them. Staying in the SEC, though, we mentioned the Gamecocks didn't disappoint, but LSU did against Rice, man. This is one of the sloppiest games we've seen them play all season. And it wasn't that Rice was that good, because they weren't much better either. I will say that, but it was just bad business for LSU in this contest. And coming in as a 28.5 point favorite, I mean, it was close for 4 quarters. LSU took the win 70-60. Kim Mulkey said she saw a lot of selfishness in post game. And, man, there was just a lot of bad shots taken. Air balls, rushed possessions. And, man, I'm telling you, the only reason they took the lead in the halftime is because of Anissa Morrow and her play. She went on like an 8-0 scoring run in the second quarter by herself. And she really just, whenever they needed to play, continues to be that relied upon consistent scoring threat that's not scared to take the ball and make a play. Looking at it, LSU shot 42.9% from the field, holding Rice to 35.4. Rice hit 8 3-pointers compared to LSU 6. Free throws were a huge difference, and that's why Angel Reese even had points in this contest, really. She went 1 of 7 from the field, but 22 of 31 as a team at the free throw line. 31 free throws compared to Rice's 8, just showing you the physicality and their determination and commitment to getting that ball inside the post to those bigs. LSU dominated the glass as we expected, 49-32. Rice really didn't have the size, the depth in the front court to match up with this group, and they kind of ran out of gas. But 31 defensive rebounds was a big difference in this game. 4 blocks, 14 steals. But, yo, we got to talk about it. 24 turnovers? If they turn it over 24 times against Middle Tennessee State, they going home. I'm telling you straight up. It was sloppy, man. The guards were turning the ball over very, very frequently, man. I know it was Last Terpoa's first game back. She made some plays. She hit a big 3 for them, but the turnovers were crucial. She ended up getting taken out. But, I mean, and that's no disrespect to her because we were expecting to see her play limited minutes anyway. She gave LSU some good minutes, but she was turning that thing over. And Haley Van Lith was turning that thing over as well. She had 7 points, 3 assists, 6 rebounds. Not a great game for her. She made some big shots late in the game when they needed it, but man, she was turning that thing over too. They need better guard play. Flage finished with 14, 4, and 3, and also put the clamps on the top perimeter threat for Rice. Angel Reese, 10 points, majority at the free throw line. But I love the fact that regardless if she's scoring or her shots falling, she's going to get active on them boards. 19 rebounds, a game high. I basically out-rebounded both squads almost by herself, single-handedly, low-key, man. It was crazy. Anissa Morrow, 15 and 7. Big buckets for her. She was just super aggressive. And, man, she loves that contact. She embraces it, and she finishes through it. Last year, Poa had 9 points. We didn't really see a whole lot from Alea Del Rosario or Janae Kent. Del Rosario was in foul trouble most of the game. Kent came in briefly, but man, the 24 turnovers worried you. On top of that, Rice is one of their best players. Malia Fisher fouled out in the fourth quarter, which really helped LSU. She had 13. This group, Rice turned it over a lot, and they couldn't really get over the hill. It never felt like LSU was going to actually lose this game per se, but it never really felt like they were going to pull away either. Rice made shots when they had to. They ran really good sets. Shout out to the coaching staff putting these players in position to be effective. They were active on the offensive side, constantly moving, cutters, screening. They gave LSU some trouble, and I mean it was 12-6 in the first quarter. Holding LSU to under 80, like under 75. Like, this was a very, very uncharacteristic game for LSU. And, I mean, the free throws really saved them because the turnovers almost cost them even late. Rice never stopped clawing in this contest. And you just got to see the guards take better care of the ball. They got to take better shots. I agree with Coach Kim Mulkey, man. It was really selfish, a lot of isolation basketball, not a lot of teamwork going down. They had Angel Reese locked in hell in that paint, man. That box was suffocating her. It was just a really ugly game, and they scraped out a win. But Middle Tennessee State, man, they looked impressive against Louisville. They have a really good big that can block shots, stretch the floor, that could be giving some problems to Angel Reese. They have good guard play. They're disciplined. They share the basketball. I'm telling you, man, this could be a real trap game if LSU doesn't snap back into reality. Because they do not look like defending national champions right now. And we haven't seen anybody repeat in quite some time. But I'm telling you, LSU is not looking like they're built for a run right now. They've got to get that cohesiveness back. A little rusty, they had a few days off, so, we may have to just look past it, give them the benefit of the doubt. But LSU fans, we got to be real out there now. I don't have a dog in the fight. I'm completely unbiased here. I have no dog in the fight. I'm just here to deliver the news. But we got to admit, man, LSU was looking rough today. They was looking mad smelly. I'm just saying. But their opponent, Middle Tennessee State, who they will play next, who ruined the reunion of Louisville versus LSU, one of the biggest headlines, selling points of this tournament we were excited to see in this region when it was announced. Middle Tennessee State comes back down double digits, claws their way back for a historic comeback, and takes the dub, gets the upset, the first double-digit seed to upset a single-digit seed in the tournament so far. And I guarantee they won't be the last. Middle Tennessee rallied. Man, you look at the first quarter, Louisville came out firing on all cylinders. 28-12, they outscored Middle Tennessee State. They took a double-digit lead in the halftime, and then the third and fourth quarter, they got wiped. Middle Tennessee State came into this contest 30 wins on the season, though. No slouches here. They have a Hall of Fame legendary coach who's very respected in the game. And, man, they made things hard on Louisville late in this contest. And I got to give credit, man, because I mentioned how they had bigs that would be able to compete. Anastasia Bodireva, very talented, first team all conference in their conference, like a defensive player of the year type player, blocking shots. She had 11 points and 12 rebounds in this contest, and she was really the difference maker, not only blocking shots but bothering shots and clogging that paint. And they made Louisville shoot a lot of threes that they just weren't making. Looking at the breakdown, Middle Tennessee shot 39.2% from the field compared to Louisville's 39.7%. They hit 8 3-pointers, though, compared to Louisville's 6. Louisville, 31.6% from the field, or from the three. But also, another trend that we're seeing is free throw shooting, and it's being very one-sided in certain games. In this contest, it was a huge difference maker, and it helped Middle Tennessee claw back into this game because they got to shoot a lot of free throws and save time on the clock. They made 23 of 33 free throws. 33 free throws compared to 10 for Louisville, man. They still left 10 points at the line. Like, it's crazy. Louisville did a great job on the glass in this contest, out-rebounding Middle Tennessee State 41-34, but they didn't get the clutch ones late. Louisville had 13 assists compared to Middle Tennessee's 9. 15 turnovers, though, won't get it done. And then, on the other side, 25 personal fouls. At some point, you got to stop fouling, man. Like, it's getting ridiculous. And then we mentioned Bodireva, the big 11 points, 12 rebounds. And then we also got to talk about this backcourt. Jalen Gregory and Savannah Wheeler were wheeling and dealing. The two guards combined for 46 points. Gregory had 4 assists and 3 rebounds as well. Wheeler had 2 assists and 2 rebounds. And they were really getting it done, man. Shooting the three, getting to the paint, making free throws. They shot a lot of free throws. They definitely were making free throws. And, I mean, you got players on this team that are shooting 90% from the free throw line. I mean, it was crazy. They were just attacking the paint at will, drawing fouls and getting to the line time after time after time again. And Louisville, man, they paid for it. Shout out Olivia Cochran, though. She was freaking hooping. 17 points, 10 rebounds, 2 assists. She did everything she could to advance Louisville in this contest, man. She was fighting through double teams. Very physical, very skilled player. Can shoot it, runs the floor hard, was a monster on the glass, and, was tied for second in minutes, man. She really left it all out there, so shout out to her. Nina Richards also played a good game, leading the backcourt, 12 points, 2 assists, 5 rebounds. It was tough, man, for Jada Curry, who ended up fouling out of this game, one of their better players. She has 7 points, 1 assist, and 4 rebounds, but she was really in foul trouble majority of this game, and I think it really held back this offense. Marissa Russell gave them some solid minutes, though. 9 points, 4 assists, 5 rebounds, and one of the ones that was chasing around those guards for Middle Tennessee State, but it just was not enough for Coach Walt's bunch, and they are going home with a first-round exit. Upset alert, 11 versus 6. Get them out of here. No rematch between Haley Van Lith getting to see her old team. No reunion. None of that. Middle Tennessee got them up out of there. And Kim Mulkey already knows what's coming, man. She knows the expectation. She knows the target that is on this team's back. And it's tough. It's tough when you're the defending champs and you're getting everybody's best shot. Middle Tennessee State is not going to be a team that is going to be out there making a whole lot of mistakes. They're not going to be a team that you can beat turning the ball over 24 times. This team takes care of the basketball. They're disciplined. They're well coached. They're fundamentally sound. They obviously get to the free throw line a lot. They're aggressive, attacking the paint. They share the basketball. I love how, they were playing with pace when they needed to. They slowed it down, played in the half court. Very versatile. And we're talking about a team that won 30 games, people. So this team is the real deal. LSU better come correct, or we could be seeing them ousted of this tournament in the round of 32. I'm just saying, man. They better come way more disciplined, way more focused, and way more team-oriented than they came today. Because if not, Middle Tennessee is going to be moving on to the Sweet 16. You dig? And then, rounding out, man, we got to talk about Virginia Tech getting the win over Marshall. Liz Kitley is out. We know that much. A huge blow. Conference Player of the Year. All-American. Just the focal point of this offense and defense, really. We know her and Georgia Moore have been one of the best 1-2 punches in the nation. And there was there were stints in this game where Georgia Moore was on the bench too, got into some foul trouble. So we saw a preview of what Virginia Tech could look like in the future, and there's a lot of young talent on this group. No Liz Kitley, no problem. Virginia Tech picks up the dub over Marshall, 92-49, dominant fashion in their tournament debut. The Hokies shot an impressive 53.8% from the field. They also knocked down 10 3-pointers while holding Marshall 6 of 41 from 3. Oh my gosh. Holding the Thunder and Herd to 14.6% from the 3. Another big free throw differential. Showing the aggressiveness, attacking the paint, and getting rewarded for it. 26 of 31 from the free throw line for the Hokies, putting them at 83.9%. They shot 31 free throws compared to Marshall's 8. This was a tough battle, though. It was pretty even on the glass. And that just shows, the importance and the way that they're missing Liz Kitley. But they were able, only 5 offensive rebounds, but they were able to corral 38 defensive rebounds. Great guard play, great sharing the ball, 23 assists, 9 blocks. They forced 15 turnovers. They're going to have to take better care of the ball, too. But I do credit that to Georgia Moore missing, chunks of this game as well. But Marshall, man, talk about fouling. 26 personal fouls. Are you kidding me? Hack a shack. But shout out to Clara Schrack, the understudy, the next up after Liz Kitley. She's been underneath Kitley as far as, on this depth chart. But she's been shadowing her, getting some very good critiques. And, why wouldn't you take the opportunity to learn under one of the best players in school history? Strack, 17 points, 2 assists, 5 rebounds in her first start. Even shot the 3, man. Shout out to the freshman. Coach Brooks is really big on her, and we see why. Matilda Eck had a really big game as well. 21 points, 3 rebounds for her. Kayla King had 10 points. Carly Wenzel had 12. Just a really balanced effort for Virginia Tech, man. And this was what we need to see from them. When you have Liz Kitley out, Georgia Moore only played 19 minutes. You know what I'm saying? That's when you need players like Wenzel, who had 7 assists to lead this group. That's when you need your supporting cast to really step up and make plays. And we saw Virginia Tech is more than just a two-headed monster. We finally saw, and not saying that the rest of this supporting cast hasn't shown up, but not in this way because they haven't been forced to. But down their dynamic duo, they dominate, and Virginia Tech moves on. I don't know the ceiling and how far they can go. They went to the Final Four last year with a full healthy team. Liz Kitley being out is really tough, and I don't know if you're not going to overcome that type of production from one player, but if they can continue to get play like this from their other players, and Strack can continue to follow up her debut with strong performances like this, look out for V-Tech, man. I like this group. I think they really showed a lot of heart today. They came to play. They made shots. They were consistent. and they shared the basketball, and they were having fun out there on their home court, man. And Liz Kelly was the biggest cheerleader out there cheering her teammates on. So, hey, man, I'm just saying, watch out for Virginia Tech. They could be a tough out, surprisingly sneaky, scrappy run, but they've got a team, a nice blend of veterans as well as young talent, underclassmen that are all looking to contribute and can really make shots. So, watch out for those Hokies, man. Really impressive performances. They are one of the big winners in round one, I think, in my opinion. Ohio State, another 2 seed for this region. Ohio State, the 2 seed in their region, dominant performance. Maine held with them for a quarter, but 80-57 is the final. Cody McMahon, 13 points, 2 assists, 2 rebounds. J.C. Sheldon was sensational in this game. Celeste Taylor was sensational in this game. Very balanced offense showing for Ohio State. 4 players in double figures and just a dominant performance for the Buckeyes, man, as they move on. They're going to be one of the tough outs. They were up for a 1 seed for majority of the season until they collapsed in the Big Ten tournament, but definitely expecting big things from Ohio State as they continue to move forward. Very balanced group, but also, like, you love the veteran presence. And when you have guards that can make plays and that have been here and performed on the big stage before, man, you're in good hands. Plus, McMahon is one of the best bigs in the country, can stretch the floor, can get it off the dribble, very skilled. Hey, man, Ohio State rolling. Shout out to them doing what they needed to do, getting the big win. Next up for Ohio State will be Duke, who fought hard and came back against Richmond, man, a scrappy group. Coach Lawson really got her group rolling in the second half. I don't know what she said to them at halftime, but, man, she really got them going. And this should be a fun matchup. After trailing going into the half, Duke outscores Richmond in the second half and takes the dub 71-26. Shout out to Reagan Richardson. Man, is she talented. Getting it done in all aspects, leading Duke in minutes, points, 25.7 rebounds. She was just dynamic, man. She was scoring it all over the floor, finding her shot in rhythm, just very aggressive, silky smooth guard. Y'all know Ashlyn Jackson's one of my favorite players in the nation. She had 14 points, 3 assists, 2 rebounds. I like this backcourt. I'm also a big fan of Jaden Donovan, man, the young guard. 8 points, 2 assists, 8 rebounds for her. Duke just got a lot of bodies, a lot of depth that they can throw at you, man. Kennedy Brown had 10, 5, and 7. Solid showing for the big. She's just skilled. They don't have a lot of depth in the front court, but they do have players that play a lot bigger than they are. Donovan being one of them. Just really scrappy, guards multiple positions, very strong attacking the cup. So this should be a really good matchup for Ohio State, man. Excited to see Kennedy Brown go at it with Cody McMahon. Donovan definitely going to have a tough matchup. Jackson Richardson matching up with Taylor, as well as J.C. Sheldon. Celeste Taylor a bucket too. So these guards, them two matching up with Reagan Richardson and Ashlyn Jackson should be a very fun contest for both these teams, man. I think it'll be crucial to, 1, take care of the basketball, but for 2, to get off to fast starts, man, because Duke really got off to a slow start, and they're not going to be able to fall down in too many points to Ohio State and claw their way back in. The Buckeyes are not Richmond. Rounding out our slated games, Texas, a 1 seed, beat the brakes off of Drexel 82-42. Big debut, tournament opening win for Texas, man. And we know the story here. Big 12 champs lost their All-American point guard Rory Harmon, and Madison Booker, the freshman forward, has continued to step up as the lead playmaker. 14 assists today. Tough. 8 points, 5 rebounds, and she's running the show for this offense. Taylor Jones was sensational with 18 points. Alea Moore, 10 points as well. And then the senior Shaylee Gonzalez, the sniper, with 21 points as well. You had 5 Texas players in double figures in this contest. And, man, from start to finish, they just continued to dominate. We're still waiting on their opponent. But, man, the way this group has come together, man, we saw flashes of what Madison Booker could do as the lead playmaker. But they have not skipped a beat with the freshman forward running the show. And she's just a guard that has, wing, really, that has exceptional feel for the game and just next level court vision. She's the type of player that sees plays before they happen. She can pass her opponents or her teammates open, finds them in their sweet spots, and Texas is rolling, man, moving to 31-4 on the season. Not sure who they're gonna play next, man, but I think they have a really good chance of winning that region and getting out of there and making the Final Four. Obviously, they will have to get past Stanford or NC State or Utah. It's going to be some teams. It's going to be a battle, but Texas is definitely the most talented team in this region, the most balanced team. And, man, I like their chances. I like them matching up against anybody. I don't think anybody's particularly a bad matchup for them, but I will say, they're going to face the winner of Alabama and Florida State. They will next match up with Florida State, though, man. Sarah Bajetti, one of my favorite players in the nation. If whoever wins Alabama, Florida State, I mean. But if they do match up against Florida State, I think that would be the tougher matchup. The way that Florida State plays with pace, they shoot a lot of threes and they really get up and down the floor. But, man, the 1 seeds have looked good so far. Texas, dominant. Ohio State, I know they're a 2 seed, but they dominated. South Carolina dominated. LSU, the only high seed like that, the only 1 or 2 that really looks suspect so far. So we'll see if they are the weakest link. But y'all holler at me in the comments, man. Let me know how y'all feel about all these games, all these reactions, all these players, all these storylines, and who y'all got advancing. These next big matchups that are coming up this weekend. Holler at your boy and let me know how y'all feel about the situation. That's a wrap for us. For all the latest and the greatest, I am Brandon Blakeney, a.k.a. Brandon Lee TV. Until next time, hey, we out.